Chapter 5. The public in general has no concern as to who is a manipulator. The public is only concerned with petty criminals who might affect their petty little lives directly. This is why so many white-collar criminals go free or get minimal sentences, and some of the most hideous crimes either go totally unnoticed or are applauded as greatness. For example, the great Hawaiian king Kamehameha I is considered great because he unified the islands by pushing thousands of his enemies off cliffs. Similarly, consider the Christian fight against evil in Europe, which was finally victorious when all of the witches were burned. The public concerns itself with the maintenance of its status quo, ergo chickens, and as a rule, the public should be helped to maintain its status quo even more intensely than it is. The heavier it gets, the deeper it sinks and the greater its fears. It can't succeed or leap to the next level of superiority. It must sink deeper and hold on more strongly. As it does this, it creates more enemies while at the same time making itself more impotent. Do not fight the status quo or the failures which surround you. Help it, encourage it, and then help it encapsulate itself. Help it grow stronger and heavier. Use whatever it creates. Don't change it. Simply streamline it a little. Many normal magicians regard real power as unattainable. This is natural for them since they do not have any real power to begin with. One who lacks a mind which possesses strength and active processes can't by its very nature possess power. Normal magicians are horrified by the notion of power and control over others. The toxic magician has no such terror. What terrifies him is that the status quo may gain power over him through his own natural desire to be destroyed and be replaced by better, more flexible life forms. Remember, it is a natural tendency to be dark and self-destructive. The trick is to do it well, very well. Help others get what they want. This is the most insidious form of destroying them. It makes them instantly terminal and, in most cases, useless. This method is similar to what has been called the Peter Principle. Help each person to reach their highest level of incompetence. Once they are there, they will begin digging in, establish fixed fortifications, and now you have them as a resource, a tool if you would, to do with as you wish. For example, universities have developed a tenure system to guarantee control over a potentially dangerous and toxic faculty. Chapter 6. Always play to security as if it were an adventure. Always help others think that their attempts to assure themselves security will work. As a manipulator, we know that most methods to assure security are doomed to fail sooner or later and fail badly. It is better to live with danger and chaos than with security. Your chances of surviving long enough and with enough power are much greater. This is another fundamental principle of toxic magic. There are natural toxic magicians, and many of my listeners know who they are, but there are others who should remain unknown and unknowable, for this affords them the best opportunity to do their work effectively. These individuals know how to extend their power by being sort of unconscious of what they are doing. Awareness interferes with their activities. One way of recognizing them is from the trails of people they leave behind, people who think they have been helped. In fact, these people have been made into zombies who later will be used in one way or another to accomplish the desired end of pandemonium. The master is well aware of the value of controlling the psychic powers of others. In other words, what some people believe to be their spiritual, psychic, or higher self is really the shadow of the spirit of the master himself. It is the will of the master that is speaking. This result can either be induced or produced in the subject at hand. Everyone is a potential subject for the toxic magician. Each encounter is a laboratory experiment to determine what forces are needed to help the subject develop the correct obsessions and compulsions to accomplish the will of the practitioner. He will always try to bring out what is natural to his victim or tool. This is done not for moral reasons, but because it conserves energy and time. If this approach doesn't work, then he will simply find other means to produce the effect or effects he wants. Encounters take place everywhere. This is the beauty of learning how to be an effective manipulator. All day long, every day, you can inject your will upon others by using their stupidity, their desire to be gullible, and, more importantly, their need to be flattered while disbelieving what you say. People are so fearful of being controlled that this fact in itself makes them prime resources to be controlled. Every subject will guide you in how you can control them and help them become a slave to aspects of your will. For although people hate the thought of control, most wish to be controlled. Risk, freedom, and power are only words for them. Most are simply weak and cowardly, secretly waiting for some superior force to take them over. The proof is self-evident. Just look at the number of people who seek degrees in sociology and education. The comatose state of ordinary man is necessary, and every attempt to awaken him drives him deeper into security and trance. Thus, every promise to make things better is designed to make him less dangerous and more readily destroyed. Even his revolutions make him into a better slave. In the process of planetary and intergalactic change, there of course is the necessity that the practitioner himself will be consumed by the procedures he uses in reaching his own ends. He then must not counterfeit his real life, experiences into moral platitudes. Once this is done, ergo accept as a device for others to believe in, you are no longer dealing with a true toxic magician, but with someone who is possessed by his beliefs. He is no longer a real manipulator, but has become a true believer. This is not to be bemoaned, as true believers are the very foundation of change. Stagnation always leads to some sort of spontaneous combustion. Just look at any garbage heap. Zombies are the necessary requirement, and the more of them, no matter what the source, is a sign of success. Many people will reduce all of this into two simple categories: black magic and white magic. The easiest thing to do with this simple reductionist ploy is to use it to your best benefit. In other words, let people call it what they will, agree with them, and help them to firm up their ideas. Help them make their notions so rigid that they can be broken like glass. Other people's stupidity is your resource. Help them remain stupid. Remember, one of the best ways to get what you want, no matter what it is to help other people get what they want. Discord is the politics of mobility. The more mobile, the more discord you sow. However, it is wise to give the impression of stability and order. This keeps your enemies from controlling you. Remember, the basis of toxicity is control. The more control you have, particularly without people knowing it, the more toxic you are. Some of the most powerful masters I know appear to be the most obsequious kind and helpful in the world. However, they are the most dangerous people in the world. Dangerous, that is, to those who believe in the beneficence of man.